So once again, welcome to Python day 2. Today we'll discuss about the identifiers. The name itself suggests that identify. What is mean? To know about that, and we need to remember the things, and we need to give the name. So identifier means giving a name to an entity or a value. Simply, if you take, what is your name? Your name is some so and so, some X. So X is your name. If I call X, surely you will respond. And if I say Y, so Y will respond. In the same way, identifier means giving name to either class or function or module or variable or object. Anyone. If you are giving a name to any object or variable or module or function or class. So all this will be discussed further classes. Today we will discuss about the variable because we are starting from the scratch. Let's focus on the variable. What happens is, in C programming, if you want to give identifier, it's a statistically typed language, right? So we need to mention the data type and give the int a equal to 10. Coming to Python, you no need to require to present the data type. Simply, you can use a equal to 10. So a is the identifier. For which value? For 10. If I call a, that value will be identified. That's the reason we call identifier is nothing but giving name to content or entity or value. It may be class, function, module, variable, or object. There is one boy is there, and we need to identify him. He must have some identification. What is his name? He is from, where he is studying, and where he does stay, and all these things. It's like an identity card. In the same way, in Python, if you want to give a name, we still have some conditions. We'll discuss about that in next slide. What are the examples? You can see here. You can assign an integer value to an identifier. Here, the identifier is variable 1 or var1. So whenever I call var1, the value is 45. This is assignment operator. We are assigning this 45 value to var1. Not only integer values, but also we can give string values also, or character values also. Name. Just I want to give an identifier name to the Python. Python is the string. This string value is assigned to the name. Whenever I call the name in the code, it means I'm calling Python. In the same way, if I use city is variable name or identifier. For city, I'm assigning the value is Hyderabad. Whenever I call city name in the program, it means we are calling the name or the string Hyderabad. Not only for integers, strings, but also we can call it for Boolean. So I think you are very familiar with Boolean. Boolean means true or false. We can assign Boolean value to an identifier. Now I use value. Instead of value, I can use x equal to true. It means the Boolean value true is assigned to the identifier or a variable x. So these are the identifiers. Not only this, we can assign on float value. For example, FLT. This is my name, my wish. I can take any value, any identifier name. FLT equal, let's say 3.5. This is the float value. The 3.5 value is assigned to FLT. Okay. The conclusion here is giving a value or assigning a value, assigning an entity to one particular name, variable name, we can call variable name or some name is called identifier. Identifier, right? So these are about identifiers. But wait, can we use any kind of name to the identifier? No. Let me take one example so that you will understand what I mean. Let's take a newly baby is born, right? So I want to give a name to this baby, right? So what kind of, let's take baby girl. Oh, sorry. Okay. Now, baby girl. So what kind of name I can give to this baby? Can I call this baby laptop? No, she is a human being. Why can I call with a thing name? Or else, can I call this baby girl as an object like a visible and invisible thing, air? Can I call this baby as air? No, I should not call like that. This is the one thing, because she is a human being and we need to give a human being name. Instead of all this, if I give a name to this girl, let's say Mahesh. If I say Mahesh, is it valid? No, Mahesh is a boy name. How can I give to this a girl name? And she is in India. She was born in India. If she is in India, we can't give some foreign names for Russian names from Argentina or Portugal. We don't give those kind of names. In India, we will follow some tradition names based upon region. Okay, and finally, based upon religion, this baby name is given, of course, based upon religion also. If she is Christian, so blessing. If she is Hindu, some Jahanavi. She is from Muslim, some Afrin, like that. So these rules are followed by the parents, right? So while we are assigning a name to a baby girl, we follow these rules. Directly, we can't give the names to this particular baby. In the same way, while we are assigning a name, while we are giving an identifier name, we need to follow some rules. What are the rules? If you don't follow these rules, yeah, Python will give you an error. So what are the rules we need to follow? Let's see in the next slide. Just wait. I'll allow some people who are waiting in the waiting room. Okay, fine. Right. Now, what are the rules we must follow while giving the name to an entity or content or whatever it is, value? Right. Yeah. Caution. So now you can see here. So the following rules must obey while creating a variable. What are the rules? Rules are, one is the, it must be alpha numeric value. Alpha numeric value. What do you mean by alpha numeric value? Let's say if you say alpha, alpha means letters. You can see small a to z, capital A to Z. These are the lowercase and these are the uppercase. Now, while we are giving name to a value or while we are creating an identifier, you must have A to Z, uppercase or lowercase, and numerical values. You can use 0 to 9 values. And there is a special symbol is called underscore. In computers, after equal to, left to the equal to symbol, we can see that minus underscore, right? In underscore, we can use as identifier. Remember things, we can use numbers, we can use lowercase letters, that is A to Z, we can use uppercase letters, that is capital A to Z, and we can use a special symbol underscore. Only underscore can be used. Remaining special symbols cannot be used as identifier. So let's see. Examples are, now I want to assign 100 value in my code with capital A. Yes, capital A is in this. So it is valid. Now sum equal to 300. 300 value is assigned to sum. Sum is, S is A to Z, uppercase A to Z, U is lowercase, M is in lowercase. Now it is also valid. Variable var 234, var capital VAR 234. Capital is A to Z and AR is in lowercase. 234 are the numbers. So it can be used. So it is valid identifier name. And last one is name one. Name is the capital. It is the mixture of all alphanumeric and underscore. AMA are lowercase, underscore and 1 is the numeric value. That is Python. Now this is the value. But even though you are using 0 to 9, there are some conditions. What are the conditions, sir? Identifier or the variable name should not start with numerical value, that is digits. We can use 0 to 9 in the name itself, in the variable name, but it should not be started with the 0 to 9. Example you can see here, 234. 2 is the digit, 34 also digits. The name is started with 2, so that this is invalid. Python throws an error, that is syntax error, right? And we should not use reserved words as a identifier. For example, if you take for loop, for is the keyword or the reserved word in Python. There are 36 keywords. I'll show you while we are compiling or executing some kind of codes. Then you can see that for is the reserved word or keyword. Keywords cannot be used as identifier. And as I said, except underscore, no special symbol can be used in the identifier name. That is At the rate is special symbol. If I want to assign 90 value, I can write R underscore J equal to 90. But here there is special symbol. So what happens is Python will give you an error. So we cannot execute the program. Just I want to conclude once again. While we are giving the name to a variable that can be used 0 to 9 numbers, lowercase letters, uppercase letters, and underscore. But the variable name should not start with numerical value. And in that reserved word or keyword cannot be used as a variable name. There are some names, def, def means defining the function, or while loop, while. We have 36 keywords. I'll show you while executing. And last one is the special symbols cannot be used as the identifier name. Till now, any doubts, you can ask me in chat window. Let's go further. Sir, why should not start with digits? Yeah, it is created by Guido van Rossum, right? That syntax is there. We cannot question the syntax. Right? It is Python syntax. So whenever you create 2, 3, 4 variable, it means it throws some error, that is syntax error. So Python has some rules. You should obey that to execute the program. If you don't obey, simply it says that goodbye, means syntax error. Yeah, I'll give 1 minute of time. Do you have any doubts? If you want to ask, you can unmute, or else you can use chat window. Yes, next point. Identifiers are case sensitive. What do you mean by case sensitive? Case. Case means uppercase or lowercase. Very important question is that, is Python case sensitive language or not? Obviously, yes. It is sensitive to the case. You observe that sum equal to 100, sum equal to 100. Both are not same, because in the variable name, you can see capital S, here small s. So it is case sensitive. If you go for SQL, if you are familiar with the SQL is not case sensitive. Means you can write select like this while accessing the data, extracting the data, or you can write in small letters or lowercase select. Both are valid, both are same in SQL, but in Python is case sensitive. That's the reason capital SVM and small or lower SVM are both are not equal. Even though we give same values, still both are not same. And there is no length limit for Python identifier. Simply, I want to assign num value. Num equal to 10. Instead of NUM means the length of the identifier is 1, 2, 3. 3 letters or 3 characters. But I can use N. It goes on. You can use, and finally, if you give 10, yes, still it is valid. But the programmer cannot understand what is the happening in this. So that simply small one is the preferable. I said preferable. It's optional. You can use large identifier number or small identifier. And if identifier starts with underscore, it means private variable. We'll discuss in OOPS concept. Of course, we can use underscore underscore. The question here is, it can be started with underscore. Let's take underscore variable. Variable equal 1, 2, 3. It is kind of private. Still, it is valid. If I use 2 underscores, still it is valid. But if I start with 1, 2 variable or 1 variable, it is invalid. This concept called magic methods. And we have 2 types of variables. One is the local variable. Second one is the global variable. While we are dealing with the functions, we'll know about that. Right? Local, what do you mean by local variable? Means whatever the variable is assigned in the function, within function is called local variable. Outside the function is called global variable. Global variable can be accessed by the entire program. Local variable can be accessed by within function only. Right? Okay. Yes. Now, this is the test for you. Use your chat window. What are the valid identifier names? What are the valid identifier names? Okay. Meanwhile, we'll take a short break. Now the time is 7:40, 7:41, 7:41 to 7:46. We'll take 5 minutes of break. Then again, we'll start one more important thing, that we need to execute all the programs with identifier names. Meanwhile, you can use your chat window. Just reply me with what are the valid identifier names mentioned here, 1 to 8. Right? I'll stop the record here.